Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. All right, we're gonna get into this video with TD Jakes off one of my other pages, and I'm kind of learning this StreamYard program. First of all, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakadash. Yahweh be in the name of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shai be the name of his only begotten Son, who they ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Trying to start this video. Yeah. Slovakia.
Hardened by the fact that if they survive, we can too. But I have to understand this word. It's good for African Americans to hear this word because we must recognize that we are not the only people that suffer. Sometimes we are so preoccupied with our own suffering that we delegitimize the suffering of other people. But you must recognize there's a reason that Native Americans are still on reservations after hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. You must realize that the Jewish people have gone through atrocities
Fair use.
almost in our life.
I'll give a quick disclaimer. This is for teaching purposes only. Teaching purposes only.
Lifetime and resurrected and come back. And we must be hardened by the fact that if they survive, we can too. But the text at its core is a prophetic utterance over the nation of Israel, the dry, parched, barren destitution that they would face, scattered all over the world from 1933 to 1945. Roughly 6 million Jews died, making up those dry bones.
Oh, you see, he said
6 million Jews made up those dry, very dry bones. What Ezekiel described as the valley of dry bones, and then said the bones were dry, and then comes back and says they were very dry. He was looking to one of the most horrific genocides that we have seen in the history of the world.
Now, TD Jakes doing this is so directed or familiar, similar to what Margaret Sanger said that they must do until these blacks is I'm gonna stop it there. See if I can pull up a script real quick. Trying to add this. Look like I can add this script on here. Guess I gotta stop my stream. And share this screen. Okay, now I'm getting the hang of it. Jeremiah 5:26, it say, "For among my people," let me let it pull up. It said, "For among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait as he that set snares. They set a trap. They catch men." Okay. So, get the camera right. So this is what TD Jakes is doing. He's setting a trap for our people. And see, the enemy is using him to set the trap. Let me get the next verse, 27. I might have to go back. Oh no, it came up good. Verse 27, it say, "As a cage is full of birds, so are," and it's kind of blurry. Okay, there we go. Trying to work this freaking laptop, man. Anyways, it says, "As a cage is full of birds, so are their houses full of deceit. Therefore they are become great and waxing rich. So we see this is what these people do. Because he straight up just said that these Edomites over there who was going through whatever they was going through was the valley of the dry bone. Let me go back to the video. And it's a Native American. This is her statement, Margaret Sanger. The minister's work is also important, and also he should be trained, perhaps by the Federation, as to our ideals and the goal that we hope to reach. We do not want word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population, and the minister is the man who can straighten out that idea if it even occurs to any of their rebellious members.
I will bring you back into your land in verse 12. I'm going to bring you back into your land. So this is not just picturesque. This is not just storytelling. This is prophetic as to the destiny of God's people, Israel, and what they would endure. The text at its core is a prophetic utterance over the nation of Israel, the dry, parched, barren destitution that they would face, scattered all over the world from 1933 to 1945. Roughly 6 million Jews died, making up those dry bones. 6 million Jews made up those dry, very dry bones. What Ezekiel described as the valley of dry bones, and then said the bones were dry, and then comes back and says they were very dry. He was looking to one of the most horrific genocides that we have seen in the history of the world. 6 million Jews in a few short years, a short period of time, most of it in a few months, slaughtered, yanked from their families. Some of them never.
Now, so they sent their watchdog out, see these snakes, and he's talking about 6 million Jews. Now, when you go, this is some of the lies that he brought out real quick. When you go to Ezekiel 37, verse 10, it say, so I prophesied, and he commanded me, and the breath came into them. So the house of Israel will get the breath coming into them, and they lived and stood upon their feet as an exceeding great army. So in 1948, those peoples over there did not have an army. They was even a part of the German army fighting over the homeland of Germany. They had thousands of soldiers that was so-called Jewish peoples fighting with Hitler's army. The American peoples went over there with their army because Stalin and Churchill. Now, I made this video a while ago, and I did see a new video where these people that was fighting over there against so-called Hitler or whoever, they say they was in 1948. They say they was coming back to or they was going to the land of Israel, and they say that these Palestinians, they was fighting against these Palestinians, and they was putting them in the oven, and they was doing all kind of atrocities to these Palestinians. Let me see if I can get the title of this thing, what they called it, because it was a specific title. I wish I could put it up on the screen. I got it on my phone. They called it a specific name. Let's see here. It was in 1948. It was called, almost got it. Almost got it. Because that Baphomet Declaration is what they used to go over there and take that land in 1948. This is after World War II, because World War II, and they were fighting against Hitler. It ended in 1945. So 3 years later, they went back and they did have an army. This is 1948. They say the Nakba between, they say the Israeli state was eventually created in 1948 between 750,000 and 900,000 Palestinian men, women, and children were driven out of their homeland, and an estimated 500 villages and towns were depopulated and demolished. So in order to do that, these Edomites went over there and they had to kick those Arabs up out of there. Now, let's see here. When you go to what was it, Truman? Truman, he made the statement that he, let's see, Truman 1948. He talked about, there it is. Let me see if they're going to let it play. I know the first beginning, the volume was messed up.
We had several other people in the country, even among the Jews, the Zionists particularly, who were against anything that was to be done if they couldn't have the whole of Palestine and everything handed to them on a silver plate so they wouldn't have to do anything. It couldn't be done. We had to take it in small doses. You can't move 5 or 6.
You see, he said he had to take it in small doses. And who had to take it in small doses? See, because it was these so-called Israelis that was coming from those European countries over there with Hitler, fighting against him, the so-called Zionists, and these Christian Zionists, mind you. Then they was telling the United States military and government that y'all need to go over there and get them people out the land. And he said, no, we can't do this. We got to do it bit by bit. Let's go back.
5 or 6 million people out of a country and fill it up with 5 or 6 million more and expect both sets of them to be pleased. We had all sorts of objections to everything that was done. Something
we had. See, Truman he's not the president of Palestine. He's not the president of nothing but the Americas. So why is he talking and running his mouth about what's going on over there in that land? See, let's let him say it one more time.
Sorts of objections to everything that was done. Both sets of them to be pleased. We had all closes. You can't move them on a silver plate so they wouldn't have to be done. If they couldn't have the whole of Palestine and everything, people in the country, even among the Jews, the Zionists particularly, who were against anything that was to be done, if they couldn't have the whole of Palestine and everything handed to them on a silver plate so they wouldn't have to do anything. It couldn't be done. We had to take a small dose.
So it wasn't the Lord that put his spirit into them and they became a large army and they wanted to go take over that land, or they gonna fight against their enemies because the Lord made them a great army. See, it was because the United States of America and these so-called Jewish people over here, they was telling the president, which Nixon told them that these are the ones who running things over there in America. He was telling the Arabs, y'all, well, don't be mad at me. Be mad at these freaking Jewish people over here in America. Then you see Truman saying, they telling him, hey man, you need to go over there and clear out that land so we can move into it. And Truman saying, we can't do it like that, man. We got to take it in small doses. See, we had to take it in small doses. See, and he's saying we as America, the so-called Christian Zionist Edomite army, see, because that's who it represents. Babylon the Great had to go over there and get it. It wasn't the spirit of the Lord came upon them and they was the valley of the dry bone. The spirit of the Lord went in them and they went over there and took the land. See, that's a lie. See, this is facts. We talking about historical facts. Out the horse's mouth.
You can't move 5 or 6 million people out of a country and fill it up with 5 or 6 million more and expect both sets of them to be pleased. We had all sorts of objections to everything that was done. Something had to be done. We went ahead and done it, and had it done.
He said we went ahead and done it. Yeah, the American, these redneck Edomites over here, see, they went over there and they went over there to take that land. It wasn't no talking about these the spirit of the Lord came upon them and they woke up and found out who they was, which they was already calling themselves Jewish. They weren't waking up. It wasn't no great awakening. And how was they coming alive? See, because this is how the Israelites supposed to come alive and realize who they were and before they lost their identity. This is what the wake up is. See, they was dead, didn't know who they were, and the spirit of the Lord is gonna come in them and they're gonna find out. But see, let's get on into the TD Jakes video, because that's the one where he can't break that part down.
And we must be hardened by the fact that if they survive, we can.
Did not go back to that land on a slave ship.
Hold on, let me get that.
They never touched an army in 1930s, in the 1940s, in World War II. He joined together. That's okay. even if that was true, what happened to the 100 million descendants of slaves came over here on slave ships, thrown over the boat, killed, hung, raped, whatever? 100 million dead just on the way over here. Then you got the Native Americans who are Israelites from the northern kingdom, Ephraim. They were slaughtered. 70 million Israelites from the northern kingdom was slaughtered. So you got 70 million, you got 100 million. The tribe of Judah, Benjamin, Levi, the 100 million, slaughtered, murdered, killed. Ephraim, the 70 million, the Taino so-called Indians, and all of these, Gad, Reuben, all of them were slaughtered, 70 million. So you mean to tell me he gonna, and plus they were scattered all over the world too, on slave ships, which these peoples in over there, they did not go back to that land on a slave ship. They never touched a ship. They walked down there, a road or on a camel or a road on some kind of vehicle. They did not go on their ship nowhere. So when the scattering was going on, these people were scattered on slave ships to be sold. Then when they got to their scattering place, once they were scattered to those lands, they were sold. When was these people over there sold to anybody? Find the date, find the sale papers, because we got the sale papers on the descendants of slaves. We got the sale papers. They were sold in this place to this man, to that plantation, and we still got the names on us today to prove the fact that we were sold to other peoples, and they put their name on us. So when were these people sold to somebody and they put the name on them? You see, and when did these people have a standing great army? Because they never had an army back then in the 30s when they went back to their homeland. So he just butchering these scriptures, and these people done sent him out to be just like Margaret Sanger said, we need the minister. When they start rebelling against what we saying, we need to grab one of their ministers and put him out there so he can correct some of this stuff and straighten some of this stuff up. And that's exactly what they did with T.D. Jakes. And so when you look out, let's get real quick. Because they're going to say that their original name is done away with in the last days too. When you go to Numbers 24, Balaam was given, went into a trance and was given a vision. It says in verse 14 of Numbers 24, it say, I go unto my people, come therefore, and I will advise thee what this people will do to thy people in the latter days. You see, in the last days, what is the other nations going to do to the nation of Israel? And it says, jumping down to verse 17, it say, I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not near. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel, and smite the corners of Moab, and to destroy all the children of Sheth. Verse 18, and Edom shall become a possession, Syria also shall be a possession, and his enemies and Israel shall do valiantly. Hold on, wait a minute. So, and you mean to tell me in the last days, when these Israelites go back to their homeland and have an everlasting kingdom, you got a star coming out of Jacob and going to war with these nations, putting them into slavery as a possession, and destroying, warring with some of these nations in the last days. And see, this is how we know that the house of Esau, Edom, is still around, because they not we haven't seen no savior come and killed him. Come to them same people. The nation of Edom, he gonna come to them same people and fight them for the strategy of these people. Expose the truth. They see one of their ministers out there and see if he can crush this whole operation, which we gonna have him with more followers than anybody anyway. And so they say, oh, see, we got some rebellious members. Let's send one of the ministers out there. Let's send one of their ministers out there and see if he can crush this whole operation. It's so
very dry. He was looking to one of the most horrific genocides that we have seen in the history of the world.
Cut this dude up.
Now
we're gonna swallow TDJ's lies up. It's a swallowed up with let's see here. Let me get my Bible. I want to put this on the screen because this is how we know for a fact it's not talking about these people. Alright, let's see here. It's Ezekiel 37. Ezekiel 37. See, when they went back into their land, it was something major that was going to happen. Let's try 18. All right. They went back into their land, and when they stood upon their feet a great army, what got to happen first? Look at verse 14. It's Ezekiel 37 and 14. It say, and shall put my spirit in you, and you shall live. So this is what's got to happen first before they stand up as a great army. He gonna put his spirit in them, and what they gonna do? They gonna prophesy. But anyways, it say, and I shall place you in your own land. Then shall ye know that I, the Lord, have spoken it and performed it, saith the Lord. Now in verse 16, he tells you what he was going to do. He said he was going to take you one stick and write upon it. So you're going to write upon something. You're going to write Judah on something. And the children of Israel, his companions, you're going to take another stick and write upon it, and for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all his, and for the house of Israel, all his companions. Now you go down to 17, Salakia, 17 and 18. It's going to make it plain. It says, and join them one to another into one stick. So it's not going to be two separate sticks. It's going to be one stick. and they shall become one in your hand. So it's going to be something that they're going to write on, and they're going to have it in their hand. Now, 1948, ain't nobody got no, they not writing Judah and Ephraim on nothing to nobody. See, they got guns in their hand, and they calling the so-called other Edomites in America, y'all come over and help us go take our land now. Truman, what you gonna do? See, Truman said, oh, I think I got a plan to keep everybody happy. Now, verse 18, it says, and when the children of your people shall speak unto you, saying, what thou not show us, will you not show us what you mean by these? So you got this thing that you writing on. You writing Judah, and you writing because the house of Judah represented Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Then the house of Israel represented the 10 lost tribes. So you writing these 12 tribes on and mind you, Levi was also a part of them 10 tribes. But it says the people gonna say, what you mean by holding up this chart or this stick with all of the names of Israel on it? What do you mean by this, man? It says in 19, they're pretty much, you gonna put all of this together, and it's gonna be one in your hand, verse 20. So this ain't no symbolic operation, because these Christians, they'll act like everything's symbolic. Verse 20, it says, and the sticks whereon you write shall be in your hand before their eyes. So the children of Israel, when they come alive, is they gonna see these sticks that that the prophets is holding up, because Ezekiel represents the prophet. He is a prophet, so he also representing the prophet, because he's saying, son of man, he's talking to Ezekiel. So the prophets is going to be holding up these signs, which is written on the signs, the names of the tribes. They're going to hold it up in front of the tribe's eyes. This is how the tribe's going to come alive. Not because they called the American army to help them. It says, verse 21, and say unto them, thus says the Lord God, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whether they be gone, and will gather them on every side, and will bring them into their own land. So when the children of Israel is among the heathen, the prophets is going to stand up in a exceedingly great army, holding these signs, telling them that you are from Ephraim or the northern tribes, or you from Judah, the southern tribe. This is what they're going to be doing. So this is not talking about no freaking American military going over there after World War II in 1948, writing the Baphomet Declaration. I want to pull that up too. Let's find it real quick. There we go. Okay, no, that's not what I want. Okay, I think I. All right, let's get there. All right, let me go on to my. Okay, say May 14, 1948. On May 14, let it catch up. On May 14, one day in which the British mandate over Palestine expired, the Jewish People Council gathered at the Tel Aviv Museum and approved the following proclamation declaring the establishment of the State of Israel. The new state was recognized that night by the United States and 3 days later by the USSR. Now you see that? That's another big one. What in the world is these two so-called rivals agreeing and recognizing this state? Because them Zionists, them Christian Zionists, meaning them Edomites that's disguising themselves as Christian or as Zionists, see, they is controlling the whole situation on both sides. It say at midnight of May 14, 1948, the provisional government of Israel proclaimed a new state of Israel. That same date, the United States, the person of President Truman, that's why we put Truman on there, recognized the provisional Jewish government as the de facto authority of the Jewish state. The jury recognized was extended to January 31st, 1949. So this is how they went over there. The USSR, Russia, and the United States, meaning these coalitions, because the United States pretty much supposed to be NATO and the EU, going against the USSR, which is those other countries on the east in the opposition, because the World War II is when these two entities were battling each other and fighting and killing one another. So they ended the war in 1945, and then everything was accomplished that they were trying to accomplish. So they said, let's go ahead and go get that land. Now that we got that underway, let's go get that land, and we'll get Truman to agree up, sign off on it, and the USSR. This is how they got it, not by the Spirit of the Lord waking them up and not by the prophets their prophets standing up, or their rabbis standing up with a chart telling them who they are on the chart. See, you had to stand up with the sign in their face. And so when it did happen, they knew this would be a sign. Let me see if I can get that. I ended on that. Okay, let's go back. Go back to the studio. The Bible. Give me Bible. Give me Bible. That wiki behind Geno Jennings. Come on, give me Bible. Let's see here. Let me get Isaiah chapter 8. About 16 and 17. All right, this is Isaiah 8, and I'm going to start at 18 to get right to the point. It say, behold, I and the children of Israel, who the Lord have given me, are for signs and for wonders in Israel from the Lord of hosts, which dwell in Mount Zion. So the children of Israel is going to be the sign that's going to produce those prophecies. See, that's why it's in verse 16 it say, bind up the testimony, seal the law among my disciples, because they the one that's going to go out and hold up them signs, saying that this is Judah, this is the southern kingdom, this is Ephraim, this is the northern kingdom, and this is what they calling you today. Because when you go into Hosea, with Paul and Peter both went to this scripture because they knew this scripture explained the situation the best. This scripture gave a very easy explanation of what was going to be happening. Okay. Hosea chapter 1. And when you go into this chapter, man, these people try to gaslight us on the chapter. The chapter is not hard to understand. It's very simple now. When you're going, you got to know the history too of Hosea. See, because a lot of people don't know the history of Hosea. And this chapter 1, let me show it now just a little bit. Okay. Now it say the word of the Lord that came to Hosea. Okay, to get right to the point, it say in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, Hezekiah, the kings of Judah, and in the days of Jeroboam, the son of Joash, the king. So he lived a long time. Hosea lived through many kings. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 king of Judah, and then you got 2 1, 2, Jeroboam and Joash was the king of Israel. So these two kingdoms that he's talking about, the northern kingdom, and then he's talking about the southern kingdom. And Hosea was the prophet during the life of these kings and the era of these kings. See, you gotta know the context and the history. Then right here it says that these the northern kingdom, which is what it's gonna focus on, it said this northern kingdom was gonna be departing from the Lord. Which really all of them gonna depart from the Lord, because it said, this is read verse 2, the beginning of the word of the Lord by Hosea, and the Lord said to Hosea, go take unto thee a wife of whoredom and children of whoredoms, for the land have committed great whoredom, departing from the Lord. Meaning, see, everybody, the whole land departed from the Lord. Okay. So it said, so he went and took Gomorrah, the daughter of Debilah, which conceived and bare him a son. And the Lord said unto him, call his name Jezreel, for yet a little while, and I will avenge the blood of Jezreel upon the house of Jehu, and will cause to cease the kingdom of the house of Israel. So now he's saying the kingdom of the house of Israel, the 10 tribes, he's going to cause them to cease. So he's going to just say it in a different way. It says, and it shall come to pass at that day that I will break the bow of Israel in the valley of Jezreel. He says, conceive and bear a daughter, and God said unto him, call her name Jeruhamah, for I will no more have mercy upon the house of Israel, but I will utterly take them away. So he's repeating himself now. Then he went to talking about the house of Judah. He said, I will have mercy upon the house of Judah, and will save them by the Lord their God, and will not save them by bow, by sword, by battle, by horses or horsemen. Okay, now when she had winged, we talking about the northern kingdom, Lo-Ruhamah, she conceived and bare a son. Okay, so that's still talking about the northern kingdom right there. It said, then said God, call his name Loemi, for ye are not my people, and I will not be your God. So now he changed the name of who was birthed, because this was the northern kingdom now. See, you say the house of Israel, called the name of the house of Israel Lo-Ruhamah. So he's saying, I'm going to change y'all name. Then God said, call his name Lo-Ammi, for ye are not my people, and I will not be your God. So now there is being called another name. So this representing what the Israelites, what's going to happen to the Israelites. They was going to be the nation of Israel, Yasharallah, but they going to be somewhere being called another name, because God going to get rid of them. See, he going to give them another name, and they not going to be called Israelites no more. They're going to be called a whole nother name. Okay, and verse 10 is going to tell you what's going to happen when they being called another name. Well, it's something going to pop off. Verse 10 said, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people. So it was said unto them, you are not my people, and they had a whole nother name. They wasn't being called the name of that God gave them at first as an Israelite. You see, he changed their name and said, you're going to be a Haitian. You're not going to be a Levite anymore. You're going to be a Jamaican. You're not going to be a Benjamite anymore. You're going to be an American Negro, an Afro-American, a colored person. You're not going to be the tribe of Judah no more. See, he going to change their name. He says, and it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, you are not my people. So it's gonna be he gonna be using another name in a certain place. He said, but there in that same place it shall be said unto them, you are the sons of the living God. So that's when it's gonna be with those prophets that's gonna stand up in the valley of the dry bones. They're gonna stand up and they're gonna as a exceedingly great army holding signs up with the 12 tribes and showing them this was your old name God gave you when you wasn't his people. And now this is the new name God gave you and said you are not his people. But look at the old name that he gave you. You see, because then they're gonna realize they were the sons of the living God. Verse 11 it says, then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together and appointed themselves one head, and they shall come out of the land, for great shall be the day of Jezreel. So he's giving you these names, but these names wasn't the Israelite names, it wasn't the northern kingdom or the southern kingdom, but he's giving you a parable. He's saying just in the same way that he took their name and gave them another name. Because he was letting you know that in verse 6 he would utterly take them away. Verse 4 he would cause to cease the kingdom of the house of Israel. He would cause them to cease and he would give them another name. And so this is an example of what was going to happen to the nation of Israel. This is why they was going to be in the valley of the dry bone. And so when you see T.D. Jakes running his mouth talking about that the Edomites, the so-called white man, is the valley of the dry bone, we know that they just doing what Margaret Sanger told them to do. You see, and she and these people over here in America with the eugenics situation, they had people all over the world admiring what they were doing. That's why the Russians and the Germans, not the Russians, but the Germans and Hitler, they were looking over here at Margaret Sanger now, saying, look at what them people are doing to the Negroes. See, they coming up with something amazing. Let's follow their example. I think either California, the governor of California, or whoever, they was all amazed at what was going on with Margaret Sanger. And she had the blueprint for all the Edomites that we need to get rid of these people, and this is how we're going to do it. And they knew they were Israelites because, real quick, look at this hymn. Before Margaret Sanger, these people knew it was Israelites. Look at that. Edom, Texas. See, they done named the whole town after their forefather, Esau. See, Edom, Texas. Okay. Where is it on the map? Let's look at it on the map. Go back. Edom, Texas, right on the outside of Dallas, Fort Worth. See, we got a whole city named after them, their forefathers and their countrymen. Then we got another one. We got another one also. Let me get out of that. They got a city name. Okay, they got something named after that. And then they got this one. Basra. Basra was the capital. Was the capital of Edom. They shown Salakia. I got to learn how to do this. You can do that. You can do that. Up there. Okay, Basra. It was named after the Edomites. Basra was named after the Edomites. Okay, let's get then you got Edom, Texas. So you got Basra and Edom. Basra, Connecticut, and you got Edom, Texas. Then Edom, you got ancient Edom, looking just like Washington D.C. and in England and Rome, Italy, and what else? Because this is how they buildings is. Come to America, they got them columns and they got this exact setup. But this is Petra, ancient Edom. So they showing themselves all over the place. But just like Amos 3:7 say, the Lord will do nothing but he show us secrets to the servant of the prophet. Deuteronomy 9:29 say that the children of Israel is going to get those secrets revealed to them. See, it belongs to the children of Israel to get all the secrets. Matthew 13:11 say, it showed unto us to know the mysteries and the secrets of the Lord or the kingdom. See, it ain't for these other people, and especially not the Edomites. Okay. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. Let's see. Okay, Edom. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We got what I showed Petra where they old the old Edom was there. Then here in America, you got Basra and you got Edom, two cities of America, named after the Edomites, showing that this is Babylon the Great. And Babylon the Great is the land, the throne of the Edomites. See, this is where they running everything. This is why Truman trying to go over there and take the land and give the land to the Edomites. Ain't no battle, no dry bone. It's not talking about no freaking Edomites. And I wanna take my screen back. Let me take it back to the Bible. Give me Bible. Give me one more script. Give me Bible. Now, let's see here. Ezekiel 7, I think it's Ezekiel 7. Show you how the Lord was going to give that land. But that's what he's trying to say, that these Edomites is the Israelites, because they over there in that land. But look at Ezekiel 7. What did he say he was going to do for that land? See, just show you who those people are. This is why they went over there and ran them Arabs and Palestinians up out of there. See, 900,000. They ran them up out of there, and they got a video. I should pull up that video showing how these men bragging on talking about they was, after they got done with Hitler, they went over there and was kicking them Arabs up out that land and torturing their people, and they was proud of doing it too. They're a bunch of old Edomites either living in that land still bragging. But anyhow, this Ezekiel 7, he said that land was going to have trouble. The four corners of that land, verse 2, talking about the four corners of the land, it's going to be an end of it. He said it's going to be a recompense for all the abomination they were doing in that land. See, because you got wicked Negroes was showing out up in the land. Okay. Let's scroll down. Okay, it said, from evil and only evil, behold, is come. The end is come. The end is come. See, the end is come for the Israelites to rule in that land. Now it says, you're going to give them a recompense. Okay. Now here in it says violence is risen up into a rod of wickedness. And see, that rod is going to talk, he talking about the Edomites. See, they was finna rule with a rod of iron. Say gold and silver going to be thrown in the streets in that city when the Romans surround, the Roman Edomites surround y'all behind. And he says, look at it, verse 20, 21, talking about the so-called white man that went over there and stole that land in 70 AD and in 1948, took it from the Arab. He said, and I will give it into the hands of the strangers for a prey, and to the wicked of the earth for a spoil. See, this is who went over there in 1948 and in 70 AD, the wicked of the earth, those Edomites, those Romans, the Herodian dynasty went over there, and those Herodians they was all Edomites. See, what you call it, Agrippa, he was a certified Edomite from the Heronian dynasty, and he was the one that the other Edomites had set up over that land, just like America. The American Edomites is setting up those Israeli Edomites. See, to go up in that land. Those Christian Zionists who are all Edomites, he letting them go up in the land. Now look at verse 24. It says, wherefore I will bring the worst of the heathen, and they shall possess their houses, and I will also make the pomp of the strong to cease, and the holy places shall be defiled. You see, he gonna bring those Edomites in that land, and they was gonna be the worst of the heathen, the wicked of the earth. See, this is who was gonna go into that land, and that's what happened, because you had Israelites in that land until the Hezekiah. It was either Hezekiah or Zedekiah. One of them, I'm thinking Hezekiah. He showed these Hamite Africans all the gold of the Lord, and so the Lord punished his behind and said, you want to show them all of my gold and my prized possession. So now I'm going to send your behind into slavery to them darn African Babylonians. So that same situation went on with these other Israelites when they got kicked out the land in 70 AD. But the Persians, they told the Israelites, y'all can go back to that land, because if y'all don't, God gonna punish us and our children. So the Persians let them go back to that land. And then here come the Edomites. So they got kicked out the land when the Babylonians kicked them out. Then they went back during the Persians. Then when the Greeks took over, that's the Edomites. The Greeks was battling with the Maccabees, and they went down there and took over that land and blended in. Well, now they was in the freaking, there was a king. The Heronian dynasty was the king. He building a library, a theater on the outskirts of Israel. He got all the Israelite slaves, building him a theater, thousands of them, and building him a palace that they got standing right to this day. And they got the Heronian statues with his face, and he a certified white man. So there's no way in the world that these people is those Edomites was, because they'll try to say, well, why they was twin brothers, so why is the Edomites not black like the Israelites? Said, no, that's not right, because he came out as an albino, and he went to mixing in with the peoples, but at the end of the day, he was albino, and he was probably mixing in with the other albinos, because what was it, Rebecca and Isaac were the only people that can have an albino. The Ishmael could have an albino, just like the lion can have an albino, the alligator can have an albino. All the animals can have an albino. See, one just specifically to one species or one human family. So when Esau came out, he went to get with the other albino. But anyways, this is what was going to happen to that land. Them people was going to go over there, and they was going to be the most wicked of all the world, and they was going to take over that land. Now, let me get one more, because I think I got the apocrypha on here. Because we still talking about the Valley of Dry Bones, going and taking that land now. That's what it was all about. Okay. Let's get this apocrypha. Okay, this ain't the one with the apocrypha. Well, guess what? Let me see if I can get it on this. They gonna show up? Group 4. Okay, they showing it good. Group 4, 35, 36. It say, fire shall come. Oh, let's blow it up. This Baruch 4 and 35 it say, for fire shall come upon her from the everlasting, long to endure, and she shall be inhabited of devil for a great time, O Jerusalem. So Jerusalem is going to be inhabited of devils. Now, you're not talking about some angel that's falling from heaven. No, it's talking about the most wicked of all the world. It's talking about the worst of the heathen, the Edomites, the so-called white men, the Romans, the Americans, the Israelites. These are the people that's going to be dwelling in that land. See, because he haven't raised up that army yet, and that army haven't went back into that land. Especially the one that he's raising up, who's holding the sign, telling the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom their true identity, like Hosea, the first chapter. See, they not going back into the land. Only people going in that land is those Edomites, because the ones who, the prophets and the people that's holding up them signs, they know fire is going to come on the land. He going to blow that land into smithereens and clean it out. See, fire got to clean that land. So they not going to go back up in there. See, the people that's going in there is the most wicked of all the world, having pride, parades, and crap. And they going to get burnt like a crispy chicken. But this is what the scripture is saying. But that the Battle of the Dry Bone is talking about the Black, Hispanics, and Native American descendants of slaves that were scattered around the globe on slave ships and through many captivity. The Northern Kingdom was scattered on slave ships in 1492 when Columbus and these people was coming over here harassing what's the man Montezuma. See, they hadn't seen that the Northern Kingdom was flourishing heavy, and Montezuma had a major city, and these Edomites over there just climbing out of the caves, being taught by the Moors how to wash their behind. They say, let's go over there and take Montezuma's stuff, man. And the Catholic Church, who had started the battle with King James and his blood, his family that was ruling, because the bloodline that King James came out of was those Israelites that were ruling. So the Roman Edomite Catholic Church, they started the battle with them people in 1492. And so in the midst of the battle, they started to come over here and chase the Israelites down wherever they was going. But let's pull up this Montezuma. What's M-O-N? Montezuma. There we go. Now they try to make this man look like a crab. This man was not no Edomite. You see what they do? Got him looking like an Edomite. Can we get a picture, please? That is not no mountain we talking about. We're talking about a whole man. There we go. So in 1500, let's do this. Let's go ahead and get his story. Whoever on here talking about grafted in, that's the lost sheep of the house of Israel got to be grafted in. The lost sheep. You're not grafting in an Edomite who got all kind of judgments coming on him. Say the Lord say he's gonna come at the Edom and destroy their behind and stump them like some grapes. But they don't went around the world and raped, robbed, and murdered everybody. So how in the world they gonna talk about they gonna get grafted in a Christian, Roman, Catholic, Christian, Edomite church? It'll never happen. Who lying to all the Hispanic and blacks who populate the churches? We sit around lying to them, telling them that they some Christians and they some Gentiles, and they the Israelites that the Bible speak of, and the so-called white man is the devil the Bible speak of, the deceiver, antichrist, man of sin, son of destruction. Yahweh shall call him desolation of abomination that was spoken of in Daniel. Daniel said that the people of the prince, the wicked of the earth, was going to come and take this land. See, he put a date on it. See, 30-some years after when the Messiah is going to get killed, the people of the prince, meaning the people who ruling, the Edomites who ruling, they're going to come and kill and take the city. And all of those Romans who took it was Edomites. But anyway, they was in 1492. They knew about Montezuma, man. Look, 1520, 502. See, they knew about him in the 1400s. Because you had what's that guy? Americo Vespucci. He was an American navigator. See, there it is, right there. It says Montezuma was the son of the great leader Axacata, 1469 to 1481. See, 1481 is when them people Americo Vespucci, he traveling and mapping out the people's whole situation and writing Ferdinand, the French or the Spanish king, writing them, telling them how rich Montezuma and his people were. So they weren't coming over. They weren't looking for no Christopher killing Columbus. Wasn't looking for no spices and looking for China. They knew that Montezuma was over him, and he wrote a contract. They wrote a contract with Christopher killing Columbus, saying that they want 10% of the gold when he go over there. They want 10% of the gold and the spices or whatever he can get. They want 10%. So it's a lie that the Edomites like to tell. Oh, they was just They didn't know nothing about the new world, and they was really looking for China. You're a China lie. See, this is why we call them the deceiver and the devil. They got all them little kids, and all these grown people was thinking that they was lost. Christopher Columbus was lost. And he read the Apocrypha, which they took out. See, they made sure they took that Apocrypha out, because that Apocrypha tell you exactly the history. And this is why in 1812, was it 1812, 1815 to 1860 something, they made reading illegal for the slaves. See, we don't need you to be reading nothing. And the Apocrypha was banned from the West Indies and Jamaica. You can't even read that Apocrypha or you going to jail. Because all of our Christian lies is going to go down the drain when you see the true history. But anyhow, these Christopher Columbus and these Edomites, they knew Montezuma was over here. And they came over here and raped, robbed, and murdered them people. See? And it wasn't no mystery about what the Israelites was there. They was chasing them down, hunting them down, and trying to find them. This is what Edomites do. Now let's go back to this Bible, because this is how what you call it? This is how the Lord said it will go down. That they're going to be warned against Jacob and his children. Exodus 17. This Exodus 17, starting with 13, is saying Joshua comforted Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. Okay, they was kicking these Edomites behind. Amalek is the small head Jewish man now, and he the top tribe of the Edomites. So they was getting their behind kicked because they was waiting on the Israelites as soon as they came out of Egypt. And so Moses was told to do this. It said, the Lord said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, for I will utterly put out of the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. And Moses built an altar and called the name of it Yahweh Nisi. For he said, because the Lord hath sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. So the Edomites is always looking for Jacob, because they mad that they lost the blessing, and they sold the blessing, and they did so much to ruin their situation, and they hating on Jacob because what he finna get. That this is why they gonna war with Jacob. They know Jacob gonna take over after them and put they behind into slavery. So they not happy about that thing, man. I'm trying to get my pocket on. They giving me a title. Give it up here. Okay. I want strictly the Apocrypha, man. Let's do it like this. There we go. Did I pass it? Okay, 2nd Esdras 6. I ended on this. Second Esdras 6 and 9. And this is another reason why they want to take the Apocrypha out and they try to discredit the Apocrypha. Because they know Salakia. How do we get on that? But anyway, I can do it on right to it. Oh, this new app. Second Esdras 6 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world. So Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. So this world is the world of Esau. See, that's why in Job 9 and 24 say the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Because this is the world of Esau. And when the so-called white man, who is Esau, when he come to an end, that will be the end of the world. When his kingdom ends, and Jacob is going to throw his behind into slavery. This is what Abraham's blessing was about. It said your children are going to be in slavery for 400 years, and the nation that had them in the slavery, that they're going to be judged. See, they're not going to join a Christian church and receive the blessings of Abraham. See, all nations going to be blessed. No, all nations ain't going to be blessed through Abraham in that way, because it's a nation that's going to have to pay, that's going to have to get judged. And those nations that's going to be blessed is in the kingdom. They're going to be receiving the laws of God and following the Israelites' righteous ways. But the Edomites, they going to be judged, because that's the nation that had the children of Israel in slavery for 400 years. You see, same thing with the Hamites. They won't be able to enter into the congregation of the Lord, because they had the children of Israel in slavery for 400 years. So these nations got to get their judgment. Their children can't join a Christian congregation and get away from the situation. So where we at with this time? Let's see here. Because Esau is the end of the world. Go back to my studio. Oh wait. We almost at 2 hours. Now somebody gonna talk about the Bible say something about grafted in real quick. Let me post this verse from Romans on the comment board. Was it Romans 11? Romans 11, it says, verse 19. He said the branches were broken off that I might be grafted in. So he from the tribe of Benjamin now. Paul is from the tribe of Benjamin. So he's saying that he gonna be grafted in. So he a part of the branches that was broken off. The tribe of Benjamin was a part of the branches that was broken off, and he was living outside of the Israelites, and he was living in Turkey, and he was a Roman citizen. Now, but look at what is it? Verse. For God is able to graft them in again. Is that the one? It says, verse 23, and they also, if they abide not still in unbelief, shall be grafted in, for God is able to graft them in again. You see, they was going to be in there again. And you can't get a wild olive, it even say, the wild olive tree is still an olive tree. See, the seed of Israel. You can't get no other seed in there. You can't graft in no other seed. It was the seed of Israel. Just was a wild seed of Israel, meaning a lost tribe or a lost child of Israel. So these people just they've been taught that Christian dogma, and they think they're going to be able to get drafted in. Oh, and then when you go to Romans 9, who the grafted in or the adoption was for? I'm going to just post verse 4. Verse 4. You got, it says the adoption pertained to the Israelites, not to no other nation or no Edomites and all of that. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. I want to do this lesson because I want to try out this StreamYard. I hadn't been dealing with StreamYard, but now I'm gonna start using that. Using this little I guess what you call a website, because it's not an app. Let's see here. And I want to put this video on my page, because I had, on my new page, I had it on one of my old pages that I don't have access to. On that ultimate secrets. Plus I did that years ago. Whatever, 3 years ago. And TD Snakes went complaining about the video. Oh, he posting our stuff on, posting our content online. He was acting like he was swallowed up. He done swallowed up our content. Crying to the YouTube people. But Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. All praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah, by Hashem Kakadash. Double honors to the elders pushing the truth. Peace to the elect worldwide. Our kingdom is at hand. Shalom. Let me see if I can this screen.